In this video, I'm going to show you how to create stunning portrait photo edits in a fraction of the time it would normally take you, without using complicated editing steps or hundreds of layers inside Photoshop. I'm also going to show you a simple AI tool you can use to retouch your subject's skin and eyes, as well as create depth on the face in as little as 4 minutes or less. No advanced retouching skills required. This video was made to help two kinds of people: beginners who wish to create professional results right away, as well as experienced photographers seeking a more efficient editing workflow, enabling you to edit dozens of client photos fast. Let's go. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go ahead and right-click our image and open it up inside Photoshop. I've included this photo in the description down below. Feel free to download it and edit along with me. Since our photo was captured in RAW, the Camera Raw filter window should open up automatically. And the first thing I'm going to do is balance the exposure a little bit, bring back more detail in the shadows and highlights, whilst at the same time maintaining nice crisp contrast in the whites and blacks to boost our photo's depth and dimension. Next, I'm going to reduce the temperature here to bring out the blue tones in the background, and I'm also going to reduce this slider to balance out the magenta tint slightly. From here, I'm going to pump up the saturation of all the colors in our photo so that we can see what we're working with by increasing these two sliders right over here. Then, in steps to follow, we can easily adjust and fine-tune specific colors using the powerful color mixer tool. Quick tip: increasing the vibrancy slider will enable us to bring out the colors surrounding our subject whilst protecting the colors in the model's skin tones. Now, don't worry, we're going to be fixing a lot of these colors in frame, especially the blue tones, which are looking a little jarring and oversaturated right now. But first, what I'm going to do is slightly bump up the texture slider, as doing so helps to increase image sharpness and clarity, in particular in our model's skin. Okay, now it's time to make some specific color adjustments, and to do that we're going to come on down to the color mixer tool, and the first thing I'm going to do is click into the saturation tab and reduce the intensity of the blues, aquas, and reds. I'm also going to increase the saturation of the yellows and oranges. Next, I'm going to click into the Hue tab and shift the blues to the right to make them less teal blue and more purple, since I want to create more of a complementary purple, blue, and yellow gold color palette that pops. I'm going to shift the greens to a more yellow color by moving this slider to the left. I'm also going to reduce the yellows slightly, reduce the harsh reds in the oranges, as well as shift the reds to the left to make the lips and blush in the cheeks effectively more rich and vibrant. Now for a very important step, I'm going to come on over to the Luminance tab to adjust the brightness of certain colors. Starting with the blues, I'm going to increase their brightness to about +45. Increase the brightness of the purples, the greens, the yellows to +16, oranges to +10, as well as the magentas to +28. Next, I'm going to scroll down to the color grading tool. You can use this tool to get the colors looking accurate to life, or if you want to remove unflattering color tints in your image without having to create multiple color balance or curves adjustment layers in Photoshop. In this image, for example, to me it looks like there's a very subtle yellowish/teal filter or tint over certain areas, and what we can do to fix that is to click into each color wheel right over here, starting with the shadows, and simply move this point around the color wheel in order to introduce a new color tint such as green, blue, or red. I'm going to stop at the reds because adding in the color red into our shadows will help to neutralize the unappealing teal tint appearing in the shadows. Here's a before and after. Similarly, I'm also going to click into the midtones and pour in some blue tones to counter or neutralize the yellowish tint appearing in the midtones. Here's a before and after. I'm also going to click into the highlights and apply a similar effect over here. Let's take a look at a quick before and after of the edit so far. And now let's hold Shift and hit OK to return to Photoshop and get ready for some skin retouching, as well as a cleanup and enhancement of the eyes by using some powerful AI tools. And so the first thing we're going to do is create a stamp of all visible underlying layers by creating a new blank layer and then hitting Shift plus Command plus Option plus E. Next, what I'm going to do is head up to Filter, Retouch for Me, Heal. I'm going to let it do its thing and then I'm going to hit apply. Now, as you can see, what that's done, if I go ahead and zoom in here, is remove all of these small bumps, blemishes, and pimples in the model's skin in a matter of seconds, something that would normally take me about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. From here, using the same layer, I'm going to click back into Filter, Retouch for Me, Dodge and Burn, which in seconds will detect all the tonal inconsistencies in the skin and then smooth them out using local dodge and burn. I'm going to reduce this value to about 70%, and then I'm going to hit apply. Now what this effect does is it creates a cleaner, more polished look to the skin whilst keeping things very natural. Now this isn't a completely perfect job, but it does get about 90% of your skin retouching work done in a matter of seconds, which is still pretty darn impressive. From here you can go ahead and manually apply some final retouching touch-ups in some of these more detailed and hard to reach areas, which I applied earlier before the start of this video, and it didn't take me very long at all. All in all, you've saved yourself about 40 minutes to an hour of skin retouching using these tools so far. But it doesn't stop there. Next, what I'm going to do is click into Filter, Retouch for Me, Portrait Volumes in order to add more depth and dimension to the face. For this effect, I'm going to reduce the intensity to around 78 or 80%. Let's hit apply and take a look at the combined retouching effects so far. Now it's time to retouch and enhance the eyes. And to do that, what I'm going to do is hit M for the marquee tool and make a small selection that includes the model's eyes, and then hit Command J to make a cutout of this selection. Next, I'm going to click into Filter, Retouch for Me, Eye Vessels, in order to retouch and clean the whites of the eyes. I'm going to reduce the intensity to about 70% for a more natural effect. Let's hit apply and take a look at the effect. Now, what this plugin does specifically, as you can see, is it cleans up the whites of the eyes by removing some of the redness while softening the tonal inconsistencies. Next, it's time to enhance the eyes using AI, and to do that, I'm going to hit Command J to duplicate this cutout layer and head up to Filter, Retouch for Me, Eye Brilliance. For this effect, I'm going to pump up the intensity to 130%, but I'm also going to customize it a little bit in order to make it look more natural since, as you can see, the whites of the eyes are a little overpowering. So to fix that, let's zoom in here and create a layer mask. Next, I'm going to hit B for the brush tool. Make sure you're using a soft black brush. Set to the opacity of 70% and reduce its size, like so. Then I'm going to paint over the whites of the eyes to soften the AI enhancement effect, specifically in the area surrounding the pupil in both eyes, to make this effect look a little bit more natural. By the way guys, if you would like to download any of these AI retouching tools to use in your own portraits, check out the link in the description down below and feel free to use my promo code Justin4Retouch20 for 20% off your order for free. Now, at this point in the edit, the result you see here will be more than satisfactory for your client. But if you want to add in a little bit more punch, a little bit more depth and separation between your model and the background to make your model pop, you can always go ahead and add in some extra effects like I've done so here. I provide more information on how to apply these subject separation effects in the following video linked on screen and linked at the end of the video. Additionally guys, if you want to learn more about high-end portrait editing and retouching beyond what I've covered in this video, I recommend checking out my full portrait and retouching course. The course is linked down below and provides a much more in-depth exploration of all the topics covered in this video, plus a whole lot more. I'll catch you in the next video.